There you go. Call me right now, 1-800-252-1025. Dying to talk to you. By the way, we'll also take your emails at lifecoach@KZOK.com. But right now, we want to talk to you. And by the way, Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Looks like we're starting with an email today.
We will start with an email today, yes. We've got a bunch of those. Remember, when you call at 800-252-1025, you can change your name or just call yourself anonymous if you need to. I know a lot of people
we had anonymous yesterday. He called himself Dick. I didn't know it was a fake name.
800-252-1025 or email lifecoach@KZOK.com. We've got an email here from Brandon in Covington. He writes, I'm a high schooler who was recently caught by my mother with pot. I have been trying to convince my parents that weed is harmless. It's not a gateway drug as they fear. My parents are moderate drinkers, but that hasn't led them to doing meth. Life Coach, whose side are you on?
I'm on your side. I don't agree with you completely that it's not a gateway drug. I don't personally know, and this is the thing with any argument. There's flaws in all of them, even if you're dead right. There's exceptions to the rule, but I don't know anybody who didn't start with pot, except those of us who started with booze. So you have two accurate arguments right there. I think you can find enough information on the internet. It depends on how far you want to go this with counselors and people that work at substance abuse places. If you want to take this to the mattresses, so to speak, you will find that there's more evidence backing up your side of this than doesn't. And if you want to cite crime, who involves themselves in more crime? Is it drinkers or is it pot smokers? It's going to be drinkers, man. You take all the drunks off the road, and if the two substance abuses we're talking about, drivers that are taking booze is much more. But don't let me sound like I'm sounding against booze. I'm sounding against what booze can do to you. And I would pick, if I had to pick, I would pick booze is a much bigger troublemaker than marijuana. So, they're not making marijuana open to legal adults, and it's going to be nationwide in the next few years. It's already going on in Colorado. It will be here in 3 more years would be my guess. No prescription, no nothing. Your requirements are going to have to be over 18 or 21. So you're right in this one. And if you're interested in proving your parents wrong, go ahead, because you'll get the information. Here's the thing. When it's coming to your safety, and you should be really touched by this, when it comes to your safety, you're not going to change your parents' mind, even if they're wrong, and they are. So if you just want somebody to say you're right, you did the right thing, you called me or emailed me, you're absolutely right about this. Good luck, and thank you very much for the email.
If you've got a question for the Life Coach, 800-252-1025 is the number to call. You can also email lifecoach@KZOK.com. And if you need to be anonymous, if you need to lie about your name, be Becky, be Steve, be Veronica. I'm out of names.
Linda.
You could be Linda.
Okay.
You could be a duck. 800-252-1025. We're going to put you on now, Danny, with Kay in Tacoma.
Hey, Kay, what can I do for you, darling?
Hey, I have a kind of a dilemma. My daughter goes high school in Clover Park in Lakewood, and she did everything she needed to do, take her hours, everything, and took the state test. She missed it by 1 point, but they won't let her walk. And my wife went and spoke with the superintendent and everything, and they said it's out of their hands, and that it was a state decision or whatnot, and it's kind of sucks. She won't be able to walk with the rest of her fellow students.
Now, here's the thing and I think, am I following you here, that being able to walk is not the same thing as not being able to graduate. She's just not going to graduate with her class. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So I'm sure that she wants to. I think she finds this some abject humiliation. I don't know how much you can beat up the school. And the thing is, you can beat up schools pretty seriously. They're subject to so many rules, regulations, and how they are perceived. But the fact of the matter is, you could probably beat them up into changing their mind and letting your daughter walk. But is that what you want to do, Kay? Is that what you want to show? That, hey, even though you didn't do well enough to walk, I'm going to come through for you and beat them up enough that you graduate. It's just enough. And then it makes the fact that she was going to graduate anyway diminished. She was going to graduate. You should congratulate her on the graduation she was going to have by the work she did, not the graduation you could force to have happen because you love your daughter and you want to kind of beat them up because she was only off by 1 point. Celebrate the graduation that she got and that the point she was able to get and the grade she was able to get, and don't have them change everything, and go to your daughter's graduation and be very, very, I'm a little bummed. I don't think my daughter graduated from an appropriate high school. There's a lot of new age schools in Los Angeles and stuff. You're a lucky guy that your daughter did the hours to have a graduation at a real live school. You should celebrate that and remember how lucky you are. Thanks, Kay. I appreciate the call, man. I've talked to you before. Thank you.
800-252-1025. You should be calling that number right now if you've got a question for Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Rose in Kirkland, you're up next.
Hey, Rose.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, my problem is I let my daughter in my house get house sit for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And with the understanding she was to leave when we got back home. So she's 48. Anyway, we can't get her out of our house.
Oh, bummer.
Now she's homeless, which is her problem.
Right. So here you asked her to house sit. I think the last person I had sit in my house was Gibbons. I know what that's like. Luckily, he left when I got home, the sweet boy that he is. So your question is, how do you get your own kid out of your house?
Yeah.
All right. First thing I'm going to suggest doing.
Mama Gibbons listen? I mean, is Mama Wilbert listening?
It is 7:34. So here's the thing. The first thing you got to do, Rose, is, and I'm sure you've already done this, is bite the bullet on the embarrassment and uncomfortable thing. You have to kind of have a real conversation with your daughter. But if she gets tough on this, the reason that she is at your house is because she's not in a position to pay rent. So what you're going to want to do, charge her rent. And you want to keep going down the line because it doesn't sound like you and your daughter are fighting. Nobody seems to be real mad. I think you just want your daughter to live long and prosper. Flap your 48-year-old wings and get out of there. And by the way, Rose, if you're at loggerheads with yourself emotionally about getting your daughter out, it's the best thing. It's the best thing for everybody. She absolutely has to go. So have a nice conversation with her and then start going, all right, we're charging rent. You pick it whatever way you go. Start charging for groceries. Start charging. And I've seen this before, if her car leaves an oil stain in your driveway, get it removed by somebody and send her that bill. Make your daughter be a responsible adult in spite of herself. And then she'll think, why if I have to pay these bills and do all this? Am I living with my mom? I could do this if I moved out. And she'll go, oh, I should move out. So yeah, start forcing her to be a bill-paying adult and she'll flee there, Rose. Thank you very much for the phone call.
If you've got a question for the life coach, the number to call is 800-252-1025. Any kind of problem you have, he can help you. He's the one you want to talk to, so call that number now. Cindy in Seattle, you're on with Danny.
Hey, Cindy.
Danny.
What's up?
Oh, nothing much. How about yourself?
I'm all good. Thank you very much for asking. What can I do for you?
Well, my ex-roommate Jessica won't talk to me.
Well, she had a stroke or is she just being a butt?
No, she's just being, but actually it was actually my own fault.
Well, give me some background, Cindy.
Well, context is that she had been posting, depressing stuff on Facebook, complaining about how she hates her job, is broke, can't afford to move out, or can't find a man, blah 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 blah. And
is that what people are doing with Facebook these days? They're going,
yeah,
I don't have money.
Stupid.
I don't have money. I don't have a man. Is that what you want people to know
That's
about
what
you?
Will posts.
He doesn't have a man. It's sad, man.
It's been rough.
All right, so that's what she's doing. She's posting what you believe to be embarrassing things. Now, are you mad because she's embarrassing you, or are you mad because she has? It sounds like, in my opinion, what you said to me, she kind of has an incredible lack of character. I'm not a fan of weak people. If she's got a bad day or two and wants to post, "Mom hates me," or "My boyfriend and I broke up," or "I don't have a job. I wish I had a job." She wants to post one thing. That I'm fine with that. But if she's just weak of character and complains rather than repairs her situation, I don't like her much. So
actually,
yeah.
it's more like I made a rather tactless comment saying, "Get a grip, girl. Save up. Get a grip, girl. Just keep looking, keep applying for jobs, save as much money as you can, and stop feeling sorry for yourself." And you know what she said in the next comment?
What?
She said, "Well, I can't swear on the air, but go F yourself, Cindy." And then she unfriended me.
Well, by the way, can I say she unfriended you? I unfriend you. The thing is, you're completely right. If she'd have called me up and asked for advice on a specific situation, I said, well, first thing, you got to suck it up. You got to stop complaining. You got to go get a job. You just got to keep at it. You were absolutely right. So can I ask you a question? Why is your call, how do I get my roommate to talk to me again, instead of how do I get my roommate to move out? You're better off without this person.
No, actually, I had moved out 2 months ago. Well, because my lease was up. But anyway, I have been keeping in touch with her But, the post on Facebook has just been really depressing and actually just downright annoying.
Yeah, it's downright annoying. I would say if you want to trouble yourself with how she's doing by monitoring Facebook rather than just talking to her, go ahead. But if you're doing that, decide she's giving you one thing. I see no bonus in talking to this person. I don't see what you get from talking to this person right now. So if you want to, monitor the Facebook things and start talking to her when she's got a job, when she's got a man, whatever it is that she needs to make her whole, that you start talking to her again. Your question, I believe, was, how do I get her to start talking to me again? I don't see why you're in such a rush to do that. I think you've got the great tool to figure out if you even want to talk to this girl at all, and the jury's out on that. I think you're a really cool person. I think she's one of those mopey people that will do nothing but bring you down. Hey, thank you very much for the call, Cindy. I appreciate it.
This is Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, 800-252-1025 to talk to Danny, or you can email at lifecoach@KZOK.com. So we've got an email here from Rebecca in White Center.
Hi, Rebecca.
I've been dating a guy for a few months. I got a phone call from a woman claiming to be his fiance. She wanted to know what had been going on. I immediately called the guy and broke up with him, even though he said she's not my fiance.
It's his old girlfriend.
He said he had broken it off and she's just being jealous. I don't know what to think other than I don't want to see him. But I am wondering if I should call this woman and give her answers while satisfying my own curiosity to know more. What would you do?
I'd do what you're wanting to do, even though it's the wrong thing to do. You want to do the wrong thing, and I'm saying God bless you. Go ahead. The fact that you're willing to entertain this woman and her questions and things like, you're not going out with the right guy. You're not in a relationship that's going to last. You're not into, and I don't mean it's going to last because you're putting your all into it and I'm calling you a failure. You don't want it to last. You're playing around. You're having a good time. Most people that have ex-fiancés or fiancés calling and saying, how do I get this done? You're thriving on the drama. You love the drama. And so I'd say go into this, have a little fun with it. Go ahead, call her back, give her all the information that she wants. Maybe you should call her back and give her information while hiding under the blankets. It'll be really fun. But I think you're digging it, and I think you should play it exactly that way and know that real life grown-ups play around like that. It's just a lot of fun. I'd
be so curious to find out if she really was his fiance.
Oh, she's not. I will tell you right now who she is. She's an ex-girlfriend. When you were reading the law, I didn't want to interrupt you, but when I got a call from some woman claiming to be his fiance, ex-girlfriend. It's always the ex-girlfriend.
Maybe he was cheating on her. I'd want to know.
Maybe. Give her a call. She gave you the phone number. You know best what he looks like, where he was, what he was doing. She'll get. If he's lying to you, he's busted. If she's lying to you, she'll get her names and dates wrong, and she'll mess something up, and you will know it, and you'll be satisfied. On the other hand, your boyfriend will go, well, you didn't. You should have just asked me, and it would have gone better than that. But the fact of the matter is, you don't care to. You want to play around. I say have a fine time with all this drama. That's what most people want.
George in Kirkland, you are on with Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach.
Hey, George.
Good morning,
Morning.
Danny. I had a question for you. How would you go about getting a kid off the couch? He's not a kid anymore. It's a girl. He's a grown young man, 22 of age, and just doesn't want to work. And, he might work once, twice a year, and then he feels that he's worked enough, and he just doesn't want to get a real job.
How would I get a 22-year-old off the couch? A hose. Just literally, man, nobody's doing anybody. And I'm glad that people like George call and others on this particular life coach. You need to know that you're not a bad guy at all. You'd be doing your son, a 22-year-old, a disservice to let him stay on the couch and not work and things like that. I had a caller this morning. I said the same thing. Start charging rent. Start charging electricity and utilities. Start charging grocery bills. Let him have to become a bill-paying adult. And then he'll realize, if I'm going to do this, why am I doing this at my dad's house? I should get my own place and move out. Give him some bills to pay, and believe me, he will split.
Yeah, how's he going to be existing on 2 days of work a year?
He'll go and he'll get himself a real job. And George seems to like his kid. He just is, I'm guessing, much like I have been a couple of times, a little disappointed in their character. You don't have to kick him out tomorrow. You can make sure he needs to have a job by this day. He needs to be paying you rent by this day. He needs to have an apartment by this day. And then you have to get him to go. I appreciate that call, but that's what you do, George. Okay, do we have time for another email?
We've got time for another email on Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. We've got a lot of these stacking up. Want to get to all of your problems. And if you would like to email the Life Coach, it is lifecoach@KZOK.com. Becky in Puyallup writes, I've been in a relationship for 6 years. Mm-hmm. Before that, I was in a relationship for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Before that, I was in a relationship for 5 years.
Okay, that's 12 years.
None of these men have ever said that they loved me. I didn't think it was weird until this current relationship. When I ask him, do you love me? He says he doesn't know. Since this seems to be an ongoing problem with me, do I need therapy?
By the way, everybody needs therapy. I don't know anybody that's not in some kind of therapy. Go get yourself some therapy. It's really a good idea. I don't know if you need it for this. I think it's really cool that you had the guts to ask. I would immediately, if I asked somebody, do you love me? And they said, I don't know. And I think this relationship is 3 years?
6.
6 years. How long does it take? You should break up with this guy because he doesn't make any good decisions. How is he going to support a family? But I think it was right that you asked him. I think you should set a time limit in your mind. I wouldn't wake up every day, and it's hard not to. I have been this person. I just go, do you love me today? You love me today? You love me today? But you need a time, whether it's spoken or just in your mind, that he starts telling you that he loves you. And it's an easy way to check. You just, once a day, a couple of times a week, whatever it is, you say a hardcore, you kiss him, you pull away from the kiss, you look in his eyes, and you say, I love you. Boom! He has to say it. If he doesn't say it, he doesn't love you. It's one of the few things in life where you can just demand the answer. You can't necessarily get the answer that you want, but it's not like you're going to have to walk around going, I wonder if he loves you. Kiss, mwah, I love you. He's got to say something. If he doesn't say I love you after 6 years, within the next little while, because he's going to know what you want, you need to move along from this guy. This is not the guy for you. And by the way, it's not you. Well, it might turn into you, but it wasn't you with the other two guys. Guys are weird, man, about saying they love you. I think they think it diminishes their place in the relationship somehow. I'm a huge fan. I say it way too soon. What's your name, Sarah? Oh, I love you. I'm crazy with that kind of stuff.
Say it with that creepy accent?
Yes, I do. I only say it that way. Hey, Amy, I love you. No, he should say it to you by now. And I'm betting. Here's the one thing you weren't playing. Like, it might be me. You've had all these boyfriends. It's not you. You're fine. Get the guy who loves you and is happy to tell you so. Hey, that's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, this morning. I appreciate the phone calls and the emails. Let's see. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.